Hi, I'm back. I'll be reading the Bible from. I'll be reading. My reading plan of the Bible is from the Daily Audio Bible app. So I'll be reading for January 11th, 2021. Genesis chapter 24, verse 52 to Genesis chapter 26, verse 16. Verse 16. Okay, Genesis chapter 24. Hmm. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Genesis chapter 24, verse 52. Okay. Eliezer, profile of a true servant. Have you ever approached a responsibility with this kind of single-mindedness and careful planning while ultimately depending on God? Accepted the challenge. Chapter 24 verses 3. Chapter 24 verses 3 and 9. Examine alternatives. Chapter 24 verse 5. Promise to follow instructions for chapter 24 verse 9. Made a plan. Chapter 24 verses 12 to 14. Submitted the plan to God. Chapter 24 verses 12 to 14. Prayed for guidance, chapter 24, verses 12 to 14. Devised a strategy with room for God to operate, chapter 24, verses 12 to 14. Waited, chapter 24, verse 21. Watched closely, chapter 24, verse 21. Accepted the answer thankfully, chapter 24, verse 26. Explained the situation to concerned parties, chapter 24, verses 34 to 49. Refuse unnecessary delay, chapter 24, verse 56. Follow through with entire plan, chapter 24, verse 66. 52. 52. When Abraham's servant heard what they said, he bowed down to the ground. Before the Lord. Then the servant brought out gold and silver jewelry and articles of clothing and gave them to Rebekah. He also gave costly gifts to her brother and to her mother. Then he and the men who were with him ate and drank and spent the night there. When they got up the next morning, he said, "Send me on my way to my master." But her brother and her mother replied, "Let the young woman remain with us 10 days or so, then you may go." But he said to them, "Do not detain me, now that the Lord has granted me success to my journey. Send me on my way so I may go to my master." Then they said, "Let's call the young woman and ask her about it." So they called Rebekah and asked her, "Will you go with this man?" "I will go," she said. So they sent their sister Rebekah on her way, along with her nurse and Abraham's servant and his men. And they blessed Rebekah and said to her, "Our sister, may you increase to thousands upon thousands. May your offspring possess the cities of the enemies." Then Rebekah and her attendants got ready and mounted the camels and went back with the man. So the servant took Rebekah and left. Now Isaac had come from Beerlahairoi, for he was living in the Negev. He went out to the field one evening to meditate, and as he looked up, he saw camels approaching. Rebekah also looked up and saw Isaac. She got down from her camel and asked the servant, "Who is that man? In the field coming to meet us?" "He is my master," the servant answered. So she took her veil and covered herself. Then the servant told Isaac all he had done. Isaac brought her into the tent of his mother Sarah, and he married Rebekah. So she became his wife, and he loved her. And Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. After his mother's death. Abraham dies. Chapter. Abraham dies. Abraham had taken another wife whose name was Keturah. She bore him Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shuah. Jokshan was the father of Sheba and Dedan. The descendants of Dedan were the Ashurites, the Letushits, and the Leummites. The sons of Midian were Ephah, Epher, Hanok, Abida, and Eldaah. All these were descendants of Keturah. Abraham loved everything he owned to Isaac, but while he was still living, he gave gifts to the sons of his concubines and sent them away from his son Isaac to the land of the east. Abraham lived 175 years, and Abraham breathed his last and died at a good old age, an old man and full of years. And he was gathered to his people. His sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah near Mamre, in the field of Ephron, son of Zohar, the Hittite, the field Abraham had bought from the Hittites. There Abraham was buried with his wife Sarah. After Abraham's death, God blessed his son Isaac, who then lived near Beerlahai-roi. Ishmael's sons. This is the account of the family line of Abraham's son Ishmael, whom Sarah's slave Hagar, the Egyptian, bore to Abraham. These are the names of the sons of Ishmael listed in the order of their birth. Nebaioth, the firstborn of Ishmael, Kedar, Adbeel, Mibsam, Mishma, Dumah, Massa, Hadad, Tema, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedemah. These were the sons of Ishmael, and these are the names of the 12 tribal leaders according to the settlements and camps. Okay, Matthew chapter 8, verses 18 to 34. Matthew chapter 8. Matthew chapter 8, verses 18 to 34. Okay. Jesus teaches about the cost of following him. Luke chapter 9, verses 51 to 62. When Jesus saw the crowd around him, he gave orders to cross to the other side of the lake. Then a teacher of the law came to him and said, "Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go." Jesus replied, "Foxes have dens and birds have nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head." Another disciple said to him, "Lord, First let me go and bury my father. But Jesus told him, follow me, and let the dead bury their own dead. Their own dead. Jesus calms the storm. Mark chapter 4, verses 35 to 41, and Luke chapter 8, verses 22 to 25. Then he got into the boat, and his disciples followed him. Suddenly, a furious storm came up on the lake, so that the waves swept over the boat. But Jesus was sleeping. The disciples went and woke him, saying, Lord, save us. We are going to drown. He replied, You, a little faith, why are you so afraid? Then he got up and rebuked the winds and the waves, and it was completely calm. The men were amazed and asked, What kind of man is this? Even the winds and the waves obey him. Obey him. Jesus sends demons into a herd of pigs. Mark chapter 5, verses 1 to 20. Luke chapter 8, verses 26 to 29. When he arrived at the other side in the region of the Gadarenes, two demon-possessed men coming from the tombs met him. They were so violent that no one could pass that way. What do you want with us, Son of God? They shouted. Have you come here to torture us before the appointed time? Some distance from them, a large herd of pigs was feeding. The demons begged Jesus, If you drive us out, send us into the herd of pigs. He said to them, Go. So they came out and went into the pigs, and the whole herd washed down the steep bank into the lake and died in the water. Those tending the pigs went into the town and reported all this, including what had happened to the demon-possessed men. Then the whole town went out to meet Jesus, and when they saw him, they pleaded with him to leave their region. Psalm chapter 10, verses 1 to 15. Psalm chapter 10. Psalm chapter 10, verses 1 to 15. Theme: Why do the wicked succeed? Although God may seem to be hidden at times, we can be assured that He is aware of every injustice. Author: Anonymous, but probably David. Many ancient manuscripts combine Psalms 9 and 10, and Psalm 9 was written by David. Why, Lord, do you stand far off? Why do you hide yourself in times of trouble? In his arrogance, the wicked man hunts down the weak, who are caught in the schemes he devises. He boasts about the cravings of his heart. He blesses the greedy, and he blesses the greedy, and reviles the Lord. In his pride, the wicked man does not seek him. In all his thoughts, there is no room for God. His ways are always prosperous. Your laws are rejected by him. He sneers at all his enemies. He says to himself, Nothing will ever shake me. He swears no one will ever do me harm. His mouth is full of lies and threats. Trouble and evil are under his tongue. He lies in wait near the villages. From ambush he murders the innocent. His eyes watch in secret for his victims. Like a lion in cover, he lies in wait. He lies in wait to catch the helpless. He catches the helpless and drags them off in his net. His victims are crushed, they collapse. They fall under his strength. He says to himself, God will never notice. He covers his face and never sees. O wise Lord, lift up your hand, O God. Do not forget the helpless. Why does the wicked man revile God? Why does he say to himself, He won't call me to account, but you, God, see the trouble of the afflicted. You consider their grief and take it in hand. The victims commit themselves to you. You are the helper of the fatherless. Break the arm of the wicked man. Call the evildoer to account for his wickedness. Thou would not otherwise be found out. Proverbs chapter 3, verses 7 and 8. Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 3, verses 7 and 8. 7 and 8. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and shun evil. This will bring health to your body and nourishment to your bones. Okay, that's all. Bye for now.